In this daily drop, we're going to be talking about a clamshell lighting setup that I'm putting together for an upcoming shoot. So let's go. All right, everybody, here we are. It is the last episode for this week, episode 155 of the Daily Drop. And I'm getting ready for some more production, DPing in this case. And I am going to be shooting over a 2-day period some executives, top executives, CEOs, head of tech, all that kind of stuff. And we are starting to get the images pouring in terms of what the space is going to look like. Hopefully, I'll be able to do a little BTS episode when I am there, so you can see the final kind of setup for at least one of those interview setups. We're going to try to go for, I believe we're interviewing 3 people over 2 days, so we're going to try to go for 3 different looks in that space. It's a big space. It has lots of windows. I am anticipating we're going to be seeing those windows in frame on A and B camera for at least 1 or 2 of the interview setups. And what's informing how I'm going to be lighting these is really sort of the face of the team and how they're being presented right now on their company website. So we started to take a look at that, and their portraits, their headshots, were clearly shot with clamshell lighting. So what is that? If you're not familiar with it, we have butterfly lighting, where you basically have a key source that's right sort of where camera is and above and coming down. And if you position it correctly, you get this little butterfly kind of shaped shadow below the person's nose. You won't see it with somebody like me with a mustache, but you get the basic idea. And it's a beautiful style of lighting. It's used a lot in fashion and things like that. And even if somebody's like you're shooting an interview and somebody's looking slightly off camera, so they're looking camera left or camera right, it still works very nicely. You just have to kind of nudge the light a little bit, but it's still really coming from where basically the camera is. And if you take a look at this shot right now, you'll see that we have a key light. In this case, it's going to be the Nanlite 720B-Y, because we're going to be in a big space, lots of natural light coming in, praying for, knock on wood, a cloudy day, but the windows are facing south, so we probably won't be getting direct light into the windows. So I've got to have something that has enough output so I can expose for the background, meaning outside. And then I can make adjustments, and I might put some ND on the camera lens. We'll see. These are other topics to discuss, but the point is you have your butterfly lighting coming down with that little shadow, and then clamshell is fill from below. So it looks kind of like a clamshell that's open. And that means that if I had a key up here, I would have fill coming from here, and that's going to fill in any things that you don't want to see. And we're interviewing people who are male, female, different ages, so on and so forth. So that's kind of the way I'm deciding to go, but not just pie in the sky. That's why, because when you look at their company portraits, their headshots, you can clearly see by looking in the catch lights that it's clamshell lighting. So it's kind of taking that look and feel, how they're presenting themselves, how they're representing, the team for that company and their brand, and carrying that through in terms of these interviews. So the key light, that modifier, is way too close right now in the shot for really where it would be positioned. So we're going to raise that up in reality. And then we're creating this little, this little sandwich here of light that we can put onto our talent. But the key part of this is the second part that makes it clamshell, that fill that I want to talk about today. So the way I have it set up is I have a Kupo, I think it's called a 4-way clamp. I'll link to it in the description. I love these things. They're great for pipes in basically grids above you. They're great for C-stands and basically just to clamp on and tighten down. And you can have different things coming off each one of those. In this case, just a single baby pin, and that's all I have. And then from there, if you watched a couple episodes ago, the Westcott, the dual joint tilter bracket. It's a great piece of kit, and I'm going to use it here. And then the last part of the equation is this, which is the Halo reflector. They make different fabrics or rags for it, but what's cool about it is it collapses down to this size. Think camping and tents and all that kind of stuff. And then when you put it together, the handle has a 1/4-20 thread. Now, you could use a mini Mattellini clamp or something like that, but I'm just going straight into this with the dual joint tilter bracket from Westcott. This is going into this Halo reflector from Manfrotto. We're representing lots of brands here. And then there's this right here, which is the actual fabric itself, which is not completely opaque. It is, I'm going to say it's not quite magic cloth, but it's probably in about the 1.5 stop realm. It will do a nice job, a great job of filling in. Because I have 2 of these, I may double up this actual rag and put it onto the same frame just to make it more opaque, so there's a little bit more bounce. I'll make that decision. I'll bring it with me, and we'll see what happens the day of. But as you can see, that's the basis, but the magic is with that dual joint, not only are we on a single stand setup, but the dual joint tilter bracket allows me to very, very easily position that fill wherever I want. So I can keep it kind of traditional with the clamshell lighting, or I can take that and I can adjust it to different angles. So if I just need to get a little bit more light somewhere, based on the way the person is looking, especially if they're looking off camera, I can do that. Very, very flexible, very, very cool, very, very lightweight to take with me. And I think it's going to work exceptionally well. With the tests I've done, and maybe we'll do some stuff next week, or I'll be able to get some shots at the actual location. What's nice is with their portraits and their headshots, I was seeing 2 catch lights. I don't think the way I'm lighting it, we're going to see that. We're just going to get the benefit of the fill. I'm really just looking for that 1 catch light near the top of their eyes. I think it's doable. It's good stuff. It's just another way to light, and it's the appropriate way to light for this particular project. The nice thing is that I'm going to put the entire thing on a rolling stand. So if the CEO, when she's sitting down, we want real clamshell lighting, I can do that. But then if I want to, for some of our male talent, just sort of shift it over a little bit, give it a little bit more shape, because that might feel better. It'll be very flexible to do that as well. There you go. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.